Alright guys, it's time for another video, and in this week it's part 2 of the making of the King Tyranno helmet. I'm going to show you how to take it from a raw 3D print to a prepped and ready to paint helmet. Hey, what's up guys? I'm back again, and this week we're going to be finishing a helmet that I showed in a previous video. If you guys don't remember, or weren't here for that video, I actually did a video of printing out the King Tyranno helmet. This is actually a character based on a fan art that I will leave a link in the description below. That way you guys can see the art that this amazing artist has actually done. I'm very impressed with all of his work. He just recently even did a bunch of movie Zeo inspired characters. So I am looking forward to seeing more of his work, and you guys should check out his work because he is amazing. He's a great artist. Go check him out. And also, this helmet was actually modeled by another good friend of mine on 3D Command Center. He actually 3D printed this font with the permission of the artist because permission is key when you're doing a character based off of a fan art. So in today's video, we're going to be working on actually prepping, sanding to get this helmet ready for paint. I'm going to be showing you the prep work that's going to be going in, the welding of these pieces, because this is actually, you can see by the tape, it is actually about two separate pieces, and obviously I have the back piece right here. And if you guys are wondering about how I'm planning on sealing it together, I'm going to be 3D printing some keys for this helmet and then attaching them together. So one of the first things that we're actually going to be doing is actually going to solder this baby together, and then what we're going to be doing is taking some of our Bondo material and smoothing out the top of the crown, because it does actually have a lot of steps and print lines, and we don't want that. We want it nice and smooth, and obviously it's going to take a lot of sanding to do that because thicker lines means more sanding. So to skip that altogether, we're going to be using some body filler to get that stuff done. But before we even move any further with that, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go straight into soldering this piece together. And don't worry about me soldering the outside. We will get rid of that soldering line with a little bit of Bondo and some sanding. And that way it's going to look nice and smooth in one piece. And that's how we're going to do it. Hey guys, it's voiceover time. Well, so you guys know, welding these pieces together is actually not as hard as some people may be thinking. A lot of people worry about getting these pieces messy and looking bad, but if you use a little bit of Bondo and some spot filler, and to reinforce it, I would suggest maybe some epoxy putty that you can get in your local hardware store. That actually gives it a little extra bond and something, a little bit of trick that you guys can use in your future 3D printing skills. Alright guys, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is that we're going to be taking a little bit of our body filler here, making a few small portions. That way we can actually cover up these heavy print lines, because no matter what happens, a lot of the time the top layer is usually a little bit more deeper than the rest of the print. But since I didn't want to make it, perfect, because the longer and refined you try to make the print, the longer it takes to print. And I don't mind doing the work. In cosplay or in prop making, it takes work to refine things and get them ready. So that's what we're going to be doing. So let's go ahead, take a little bit of our Bondo and put a few coatings on here, and here, and then we're going to be going on to the next step. So remember guys, you're going to have to if you're not in a ventilated area like I am out here, because I am outside, I am literally on a farm. We're going to open this baby up. And you're always going to want to work fast with this, guys, because this sometimes hardens a little bit faster, especially where I live. It's warm, so the hardening process takes only minutes. So we're going to take some of this and we're going to put it right here on the fins. You don't have to mix a lot of this material, and I would advise you not to, because you will end up wasting a lot of this material, because with the drying time, you don't have that much time. You always got to be careful when you're doing this. Alright guys, now that we finally have this completely covered in the sections that we want, we have these deeper print lines completely covered in the Bondo, in the body filler. So what we're going to do is just wait a little bit of time for maybe about an hour for me, you guys, a YouTube second, for it to harden. That way we can sand it and then go with our trusty filler primer to fill in the finer print lines. That way we can go do another sanding and see what we can do to finish it off, to get it ready for another priming, because prepping these helmets does take a little bit of a time. So just so you guys know that it's not a 1, 2, 3 thing and then you're done when it comes to print. So let's just, so we're just gonna let this baby sit here for a little while, and then we'll be right back, and I'll be, remember,
one eternity later.
Ooh. Okay, I thought I was going to be late there for a second, but I am back, and obviously the Bondo is now completely hardened. So what we're going to do is take our 220 sandpaper and a little bit of, I actually covered the whole thing this time in the back completely with body filler, just to expedite the process a little bit more. So we're going to be doing is sanding and then taking the 2-in-1 filler primer and smoothing it all out. Try to get it as smooth as we possibly can. That way to add the normal primer to get it ready for the next process, and that is going to be painting and clear coating. But before that, obviously, I gotta print out the keys. But that will be after we do the sanding. That'll be after we do the sanding, and then I will weld them together just to get a, you know, being able to lock them together. It won't be the finished product. It'll just be just for this video right now, guys. So let's get to it. Let's get sanding the helmet. Alright guys, now comes for the fun part of the whole making of the helmet, and that is the sanding part, yes. So you guys know, when I do the sanding of these helmets, I actually work with 2 different types of sandpaper. I work with a nice 220 and then work my way up to 400. I could go a little bit higher if people wanted it more of a smooth look, but I always save that part for when I'm doing the wet sanding, because it comes out so nice, and I gotta say, I love the texture of the helmet. It comes out so smooth that when you add the paint on, it looks flawless. So make sure when you're doing the sanding, make sure you take out every imperfection, because when you add the paint, any imperfections will be shown more by the smoothness of the actual print. Alright guys, so unfortunately the day has gone ahead of me, and also it started to rain outside, so I couldn't finish working on the helmet today, but I will be finishing it tomorrow. So don't worry, don't go anywhere guys. I'm not going anywhere. The video's not done. I still have a little bit more to show you guys. Alright, so just to show you guys, this is what it looks like so far, since it took a little bit longer to dry with the filler primer because of the rain and the wind. So it took a little bit of time, a few more hours, but now it's dry to the touch and nearly smoothly. Focus. Look at that. The crown is almost, you can barely see any print lines. You still see a little bit here, but remember, there's still some sanding to do to get it completely as smooth as possible. Also with some spot filler that we're going to be putting here, and a little bit here, and some here, and here, but not everywhere. It's as smooth as a beautiful lady's cheek. Oh, behave. Yeah. Anyway, so what we're gonna do right now is just let this sit for right now, tuck it in, go to sleep, and then I will be back in the morning, so that way we can start to the last part before that epic moment where we're gonna be able to paint this baby, put on a visor, close it up, and have it ready to wear. And oh yeah, guys, it's gonna be awesome.
The next morning.
A little bit over an hour for me to sand this. Some areas were a little bit harder to reach than others. So right now I'm going to be using this Ace Premium primer, which actually dries within 36 minutes, but over here, since it's a little bit hotter, it tends to dry within 20, maybe a little bit less if I leave it in the direct sun. So let's prime this baby. Alright guys, so here we have our finally finished, prime, sanded, resanded, and sanded again King Tyranno helmet. So far this baby is looking pretty fierce. It's looking really awesome. I gotta say, it looks a lot nicer. A lot of the parts were a little bit harder to sand more than others. Like a lot of these details here was hard to actually get my hand in, and even with some finger files in there, but I got it. I was able to do it. As you guys saw, I did a lot of sanding. A lot of these things, if you guys ever think about getting into 3D printing, just know for a fact that prints don't come out extremely smooth like you would see in a casted helmet or anything. There's going to be a lot of prep work involved, which is why I do these videos, so that way you guys can see how these helmets come out, the ones that have so many details in it, because this guy has a lot of detail, and sanding it was not the easiest thing. It took me about 2 days to actually be able to finish this to get it to where it is right now. And if you guys want to know what I use, if you guys don't remember, I will put a list right here. That way you guys can see every piece of material that I use to get this baby sanded and primed and filled. I use a lot of different things. I use 2 different types of primer. I use a lot of spot putty because you guys can see it within the red. And the 2 primers are actually 2 different colors, so it made it a lot easier to know when some areas were higher than others. That way I was able to even it out a little bit more. But guys, remember, if you guys actually enjoy these videos that I do, that you can actually see these Power Ranger helmets being made, and it makes you want to make your own. And if you love Power Rangers and everything just as much as I do, and I think that you guys do, because you wouldn't be asking for these to be shown and be made on the channel if you didn't. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit post notifications, because if you don't hit post notifications, you're not going to know when the next video will be dropping, because I drop a video once every week. But if I do it, I might be doing 2. There could be 2 videos per week. So like this one is just 1 video, just the prep work and getting the King Tyranno helmet ready. And the next video, which will probably drop later in the week, will be of the finishing of this baby. Getting it with the keys, the magnets, the paint, the clear coat, and it's gonna look awesome. And let's not forget actually a visor, because you can't be a Power Ranger without a visor. You need a visor, right guys? The next video that's gonna be dropping is the finishing of this King Tyranno helmet. And if you want to know the creators of who made the art, who did the modeling, and everything else, I will leave everything like that in the description. That way you guys can know where to get the materials, who made the model, where to get the model, who was the artist, and see where you can actually purchase some of their work. So I will see you guys later in the week when I drop the next video of part 3 of the making of the King Tyranno helmet. Alright guys, you have a good and a Merry Christmas. Later.